Hey, what's going on, guys? Today I wanted to walk through Quick Sheen, our premium all metal polish, and just a little bit about how to use it. The first thing we always like to talk about with Quick Sheen is that A, it's not water thin, and B, it's not thick like a paste. You'll find that it's got just the right kind of viscosity. So as I pour a little bit here onto the rag, you can see that I can just touch the rag together and get that to absorb in a little bit. Our polish works better, and I've found this over using it over some time, that you use a little bit higher quality terry cloth towel, you're gonna get a lot better results than using one that's a little bit of a poor quality. So just for an example here, we're gonna use this can. The bottom of it is a machine press. It's just got machine milling on it and a little bit of oxidation. So aluminum cans work as a really great example. But you'll notice that when we go to put it on, that it just goes on real thin and it smooths out. It's easy to get it to spread out. It's not a thick paste, it's not watered down, you're not gonna see it dripping down the sides. Now, as I'm using it, you'll notice that it works on contact. And what I mean by that, and the way that you'll find that is, you look at my rag here, you can see there's black on the rag, but there's not any black on the can. And the reason why that matters is that's the cleaner in our formula that's reacting with the oxidation that's on the bottom of the can. And it's not spreading that oxidation around, it's actually cleaning it off and it's coming off on the rag. One of the secrets to using our formula is making sure that you're moving the cloth around so you're not constantly moving that black part on and off the metal surface. And as we're polishing, one thing I want you to point out is that we're just giving just a little bit of pressure to it, about 3 to 4 pounds of pressure. Especially the very first time you use it, you'll notice that just a little bit of pressure helps, but you don't have to really rub real hard, just a little bit. And as we do, one of the things I want to point out is that it's working on contact. You'll notice here that all I have to do after I've got that is just a little bit of a wipe. Now you'll notice there's no haze. The reason why there's no haze on it is because there is no petroleum solvents or rouge in our product. Now what does that mean for you? The rouge and the petroleum leave that haze behind. It's what holds the product together. I like to describe that petroleum product as like a petroleum jelly or like a Vaseline type of material that you're trying to wipe off. We don't want that in there. You'll find that Quick Sheen is actually water-based. And where it's water-based, you don't have that haze, which is why you don't have to use a buffing machine. You can simply just wipe it on and wipe it off. Now, the oxidation on most metals, and you know when you need to polish, is when you find that there are darker spots, or even rust. The very first time that you're applying Quick Sheen, you'll notice that it takes a couple of applications, usually 3, 4, to get to the point where you've got a desired high gloss and shine coming off of it. But I want to point out that you don't have to do it very much. And one of the other secrets to the Quick Sheen formula is that we also include a micro layer clear coat protectant that's in the formula. So as we're polishing the very first time, usually you'll find that that's what works really well as the cleaner. And then every time thereafter, we're actually adding a micro layer of clear coat protectant. Now the clear coat protectant, and I'll tell you why that's important here in just a second. As we're polishing here, what's happening is the metal polish is bonding to the metal surface. You don't have to try real hard. And you'll notice here as we get that to polish and we just wipe it right off, that there really isn't anything that's left over except for just the high gloss, shiny surface. Now our polish works when it can actually touch the metal surface. But before I tell you that, I wanted to tell you that it works on any metal. Any metals you have, whether it's on your classic car or your motorcycle, or even if you want to use it at home. So your aluminum, your billet, your stainless steel, chrome, magnesium, gold, silver, platinum, brass, copper, and even pewter. You'll find that it works really well on all of those. But we found that most surfaces are aluminum. In fact, that's a very common metal you'll find. And aluminum is just like what's on the bottom of the can here. I want to point out that it doesn't stick to the can very hard. It's easy to get off. In fact, I can just take my finger and just wipe it, and you'll see that that little stripe there is how loose that's on there. But as the can has been polished, and the polish, the all premium polish that we've got here, is bonded to the surface, it's actually protecting it as well at the same time. So I just want to point something out here. As we get that polished off, that's how your chrome wheels should look. That's how your bumper should look. That's how your steering column should look, your valve covers. But the way that you know that it's being protected, the way that you know it's been polished properly, is what we call the water test. So we've got a spray bottle here, throw some water on there, and I just want to show you what happens when I do that. You'll notice that the water doesn't stick. You'll see that it's beating up, and you can get the water off just as easy. Imagine that's on your wheels and you're driving through a rainstorm. Now, without even touching it or doing anything, it's dry right here in the middle. And if you've got some water that's left over, all you gotta do is just wipe it off and you're right back to that polished look. No water spots on there at all. The last point that I wanna bring up with our metal polish is that it is heat resistant. It's safe for engines, for valve covers, for exhaust tips, for your headers, any of those kinds of things. It works really well and it's resistant up to 600 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, one of the other things that's special about our formula, it will remove bluing from your exhaust. I don't know any other polish that can do that right now. Depending on how you use the metal, it will last up to 6 months, right? If it's a regular used car, you might have to do it more frequently. Some of the types of metals like copper and brass, with any other type of a polish that you use, will start to reoxidize here within about 24 hours. Aluminum with most other metals is usually about 2 weeks. Our polish will last substantially longer than that. It's really common, in fact, for a lot of people to use our polish around the house. So we've got a copper pan here. I just want to point out that not very much is required. Let's put a little bit on our rag, and let's just take a second and polish that up. Let's see how that looks. Copper, being a softer metal and with some of the properties it has, actually polishes up a little bit easier than some of the aluminums and other metals that you'll see. Let's point out how much of a difference you're going to see here on that pan. Got a brass candlestick in case you want to have, if you have brass doorknobs or faucets or sinks or anything. I've just used some of the polish that was on the rag already, and just so I can show you what you're going to see right instantly. Guys, Quick Sheen is the very best metal polish on the market. It was designed to save time. It removes from the formula. It's not something you have to buff or scratch off. A little less elbow grease, a little more time for you. We guarantee it. Now listen, if you'd like to learn more about it, please follow us on Facebook, on Instagram, or on our website, www.quicksheen.com. Thanks.